No, you're fine. The way I was sitting in my seat, I was just making sure y'all could hear me. Okay, so yeah, my name's Morgan, and I joined a little over 6 years ago. I joined whenever I was a broke college student. I was struggling, living less than paycheck to paycheck, putting gas and groceries on credit cards, the whole 9 yards. If you've ever been a broke college student, you know what I'm talking about. And I was already working 2 jobs, like 65 hours a week while I was going to school full time. And so there was no other option for me to be able to make an extra income, and my family didn't have a way to support me financially. So I just found this business through Instagram, and I saw this girl posting about the products, and I honestly thought the products like didn't even work. Was anybody skeptical before they joined this business? Like, yeah, right. Okay. Same. That was me. And I just saw these products over and over and over again. And because she kept posting, I thought there had to be something to them. And so I reached out to her. I became a customer because I didn't know the business was an option. If I did, I probably would have just jumped in there. I'm a red. I'm like all about the money. So I would have said yes immediately to that, but I said yes to the products first. And I loved my results. I proved myself wrong, and I loved my results. And so I started telling everybody about them, and I realized that that girl was making money from her phone that I could have been making. And so I said yes to this business, just wanted $100 a month. That's all that I joined for. I just wanted to be able to pay for gas and groceries and not have to put those on credit cards anymore. And that would have changed my life. And so really quickly into this business, y'all know $100 a month, that's pretty doable in this business if you're being consistent and you're working, which we'll talk about tonight. But I did that really quickly. And so I kind of caught the vision for this business, and I just decided to run with it. It wasn't one of those things where I hit my goal of making $100 or $200 a month and then thought, oh, I'm going to be an ambassador one day. It really grew from there to, man, I bet I could go Ruby. And then I went Ruby, and I was like, maybe I could go Diamond. Maybe that would be possible for me. And then I went Diamond, and I honestly thought that I wouldn't go double. And I held myself back for a long time, but my belief began to grow over and over through getting to events and plugging into things like this. And so now I'm Presidential Diamond, about to be Ambassador Diamond. We're claiming it for next month because we're really, really close. And my team's excited and we're on fire. So I'm just like ready for it to all come together. But yeah, so we've been able to pay cash for our wedding, cash for our honeymoon. My husband and I get to live a life that we never dreamed of. We get to give back more than we used to make. And we just feel so thankful and so blessed to be able to share that with other people. And now we get to help our team do the same thing. You know, we get to share this opportunity with people on social media who desperately need it. So I just feel really blessed every single day that I get to do this. Like, we have the best opportunity ever here. We get to live the best lives possible. And who gets on stuff like this with all these friends that you're dressed up in all green and you get to listen to Angry Irishmen before the Zoom starts? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is so fun. So yeah, that's my story.
I love it so much, so much. You guys, shout out Morgan. And you guys, just like last night, Kelsey just poured into us. And so I am not going to ask a million questions. I am not going to drive this conversation. Morgan is a powerhouse, and she became a powerhouse because she is so freaking consistent in this business. And just like the little graphic says, it is not luck, you guys. The people at the top, they are not lucky. They just work really hard. And so Morgan is going to pour into us about being consistent, and she is going to pour into us just about showing up every day, working smarter, not harder, and how she has climbed through the ranks and how she leads her teams. And just shows up, does the work so that she can be an ambassador team next month. So Morgan, I'm going to just let you take it away. I'm so thankful you are here. Go for it, girl.
Well, thank you for having me. This is so fun. I love it. Okay, yeah. So if y'all have specific questions, drop those in the chat. If we have time, I can get through those. I just want to add value to y'all. I want this to be beneficial to you, whatever we do talk about. So hopefully this stuff resonates with you. I have some notes here I can kind of go off of, and maybe from there we'll just kind of let the spirit lead, I guess. So the first thing is, consistency is key. We hear that all the time, but whenever you think about this business, like, you joined the person that you joined with because you saw them be consistent, right? Like, you probably didn't look at their page and see them post every other week and thought, oh, that's the person I want to join. You joined them because you knew that they would be there for you when you got started. You knew that they weren't just going to leave you high and dry whenever you did this. And so that's what you need to be for these people. If you're showing up and it's not even just for yourself or your team. You have to think about potentials. Like this affects them too. And so whenever you're only showing up on social media or doing the messaging or doing the follow-ups, if you're not being consistent with it, they're going to notice that and they're going to join with someone who is. Because I can guarantee you, you are not the only person from a network marketing company for sure, and probably not the only person from It Works that these people follow. And you've got to be the one that stands out, and that's going to be the one that's the most consistent. Whoever's the most consistent wins. Because I can tell you, if you're not showing up that day, I am. And if they're following me, they're going to join me because I'm being consistent if you're not. You know what I mean? I'm not saying they're going to join me because I'm better than you. If you're being consistent, they're going to join you. But whoever it is, if they're following Kirsten and Emily, they're going to pick the one that's the most consistent out of the two, because they want to join someone that they know is going to be there for them, that's going to help them. What's our biggest fear whenever we start this business is that we're not going to know what to do, that we don't know what, we've never had experience. We get to teach them those things, but if that's their biggest fear, they're not going to join with someone they think is going to leave them to hang out to dry whenever they get started. So one thing that I want to share with you really quick is, okay, I need your help, but like, don't overwhelm the chat or this is going to make me really overwhelmed. Okay. But just like a couple of you, drop a date that's already happened this year. Don't include today, but March 16th, January 1st through March 16th, put a date in the chat. Just this year. Okay. February 1st. I did this with my team one time and they've asked me since then, can you please do it again? Can you please do it again? I posted in my team page and I said, drop a date. And this was at the end of the year, so this is even more powerful. But I said, drop a date. And I went on and I showed them my planner. This is my planner where I write down my potentials. Okay, so anybody that I talk to, not people I message, but people who I have conversations with throughout the day, I message them. Now I have my Sabbath on Saturdays. So if you picked a Saturday, I did not work, and that's okay too, but I'm consistent the other 6 days, and that's what I'll show you. So I saw February 1st. The highlighted just means they're a potential distributor. All right, let's see. I'm going to pick a couple dates randomly. 3/8. I'm trying to go fast. March 8th. Okay. 2/21, 2/28. Y'all already know the last day of the month. I already got that for sure. All right, 2/21. But how many of you would only have 2/28 marked down on your calendar because it's the last day of the month? Ooh, because you're not working the rest of the month and you're only working at the end of the month. Ooh, the 21st. Okay, this is Saturday or this is Sunday, but I talked to so many people on Sunday, it bled into Saturday. So I had my Sabbath. This is all Sunday. Look how small those names are. Like so many people. And this is not a brag sesh. This is me telling you, people look at success. Like I look at Stephanie Dunn and I'm like, I really want what she has. How many of y'all are like, I want what Stephanie Dunn has, right? Or how many of y'all look at girls on Instagram and you're like, oh, she has abs. I want abs. But are you willing to do the stuff behind the scenes to get the results that they have? Because a lot of people will say like, oh my gosh, Morgan, you signed so many distributors, or, you signed so many customers, or your business is booming. I wish I was like that. But are you willing to do this to get where I am? You know what I mean? Because I want the abs, but I can tell you right now, I'm not willing to give up pizza and tacos for them. And that's on me. So if I don't have the abs, it's not anybody's fault but mine, because I'm not willing to be disciplined enough to get the abs. If I were, I could have them too. We're all born with abs. Physically, you have them, but you have to put in the work behind the scenes. Like I could not run a marathon right now. I haven't trained for that. I haven't put in the work. I didn't wake up early. Nobody that trains or that runs a marathon just goes out there and just says, you know what, I think I'm going to run a marathon today. And then goes to Boston and runs a marathon, right? No, they do training. They do behind the scenes work. They wake up early. They stay up late. They have the blisters on their feet to prove the work that they did. And that's why they get the glory for running the marathon. And that's why people say that they would wish that they could do that, but you can't wish for it. You have to work for it, right? And God cannot bless what you hope for. He blesses what you prepare for. And this is preparation, people. You cannot sit here and hope for customers and distributors. You prepare for them. You plant the seeds and you're going to get the harvest, but it's not every other day. And that's what I want you to see. It's every single day except for my Sabbath. It's consistent. And not only am I consistent in talking to them, I'm consistent in keeping up with them and keeping track of them and writing them down and following up with them every single day. And so if you want, they always say you can't have the glory, what is it? Guts without glory? I don't know. Anyways, make sure that you are focusing on the work that it's going to take. No guts, no glory. There it is. You have to focus on the work that it's going to take to get the things that you want. It doesn't just happen. And that's the thing, is like, we can look at these people and think, oh my gosh, it's just so easy for them. But you're looking at the highlight reel. You can't compare your worst days to their best days, because I have people ghost me too. But do you think I'm making an Insta story about that with a boomerang? Hey, this is a screenshot of a girl who ghosted me. Yay, so cute. No, like, that's why you're getting discouraged, because you're comparing yourself in the process and you're thinking like, oh my gosh, her life is so easy and everything is so perfect, or nobody ever ghosts her. And Stephanie Dunn, every person that she talks to, they sign up as a distributor. No, I know that that's not true, just because statistically there's no way everybody she talks to signs up. So she hears no too, but she's heard no more than you. And if you could hear no more times, you'd be where she is too. And I know that that's all it's going to take for me to get where Stephanie is if I can hear no more, it's going to lead to my yeses. And I'm not going to compare my worst days to her best days, because that's going to knock me off my track. And that's going to make me inconsistent, because I'm going to start comparing and I'm going to get in my head instead of keeping my head down and putting my blinders on and realizing that the people that are where I want to be are there because they're not looking at me. They're not worried about where I am and what I'm doing. They had their blinders on and they're going straight forward. Have y'all ever seen that like meme or gif or whatever it is of Michael Phelps in the pool, where they show the different lanes of the pool? And so there's Michael Phelps and then there's this other guy, and I don't know who the other guy is, but the other guy's in the lane. And I mean, this is in the Olympics. So this guy is like a top athlete. Like, you have to be so good to even be considered for the Olympics, much less in them. But we all know Michael Phelps, right? He's a swimmer. He wins everything. This swimmer in this picture that was taken, Michael Phelps was doing the butterfly. So he looked like this in the picture. And the guy in the lane next to him was behind him and looked like this. If you know anything about swimming, if you're swimming the butterfly, you do not turn your head to the side. That's taking more time, and it's like, it's messing up your aerodynamics. Like, you have to keep your head down and you lift your head up, and that's when you take your breath. He was looking to Michael Phelps, but Michael Phelps had his head down. Guess who won the race? Michael Phelps. And this business is not a race. It's not a competition, and we make it that, right? Don't we? And one thing that I want to remind you of, and I know this is kind of all over the place, this is where I said the spirit would lead, so I'm just like dropping random nuggets. Hopefully y'all are picking them up. But one thing that I had to remind myself of a lot of times in this business is I would get in this comparison trap, and it would knock me off of my course. I know we're talking about consistency, but I think comparison is the thief of joy, and that is what keeps us inconsistent a lot of times. So I think for me, I had to remind myself that I never joined this business to beat someone else to a rank. And some of you, that's what you're shooting for right now. You're trying to go diamond because you don't want someone else to get there first. But with that mentality, does that really make you want to be consistent? Does that make you excited to wake up in the morning because you're trying to beat somebody else to a rank? That doesn't, I mean, yeah, I am so competitive. I am so competitive. Literally, I was in class at the gym tonight, and it was a workout for time. And you have to like track your own time. The other two girls finished or whatever. And then they asked, like, the coach was like, okay, what were all of your times? And the girl was like, oh, I forgot to look. And the girl was like, I think it was like 12 minutes. And I was like, mine was 10 minutes, 16 seconds, if you wanted to know, because I was looking. I am so competitive. That's exactly what I was. Like, I already knew, like, that's how competitive I am. So I really have to keep myself in check with this, because I can be competitive and let it be a good thing, or I can be competitive and let it be my worst enemy. And at times in my business, I've let it be my worst enemy, where I've just wanted to beat someone else to a rank, not because I didn't want them to have it, but because I don't want them to have it without me having it too. You know what I mean? And that might make me sound really bad, but hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say, is that you did not join this business for anything else but financial freedom. And even if it wasn't for the money, you wanted what the financial freedom would give you. Even if that's friendships, you get more time with your friends when you have financial freedom. You can't go out with your friends when you don't have money. When you're broke, you don't get to do anything. So you join this business to do those things. And that's what I want you to stay focused on, because that's going to keep you encouraged. That's going to keep you consistent. Another thing that I do to stay consistent, if you're like, okay, be consistent, got it. How do I do that? Okay, here's a couple things that I do. And this is what I've talked to a lot of my leaders about yesterday. I did a lot of coaching calls with them. And a couple things that I talked to them about was, you have this goal. Okay, my goal right now is ambassador. I have this goal, but I can have little goals along the way that I can hit to make myself feel like I'm moving forward, even though the big goal is still there and I didn't hit the big goal, but I can hit the little goals along the way and notice that, hey, I'm getting closer to where I want to be. Does that make sense? It's like if you're trying to lose 100 pounds, you're not going to be like, well, it's been 6 months and I haven't lost 100 pounds, but you lost 20 and you didn't even celebrate that. And so you feel like you're not even moving anywhere because you're not celebrating the little wins. Or like, hey, I only ate pizza one time this week instead of 6 times or whatever. Like, you have to celebrate those small wins, the changes in your mindset. You have to change the little things about what you do every single day, your enrollments, talk about those things. So that's what I get excited about. I know I've talked about pizza twice on here. Can y'all tell I have not had dinner yet? I'm so hungry, so I keep talking about food. But anyway, so whenever you are going for, let's say, double, who's going for double in here? Tell me. Who's going double this month? Put a 1 in the chat. Okay. So yes, I love it. Okay. So we have some people going for double. So let's say if you're shooting for double, what can you do along the way? Can you help someone go Ruby? Would that be a success? Even if you don't hit double this month, but you had a girl go Ruby, that sounds like it's getting closer to double to me, right? That's how, and that's the thing is, like, people ask me like, Morgan, you've been trying to go ambassador for a long time. Are you discouraged? And I'm like, no, because I see moves in my business happening. I see leadership rising up. I see my paycheck growing, even though my rank isn't. I see leadership rising up. I see people promoting to different ranks. I see rubies popping. I see diamonds popping. I see things happening, and that celebration, and like me signing, like today I got a fast start and I was like, yes, I got a fast start. I still get so excited about those. Set those little goals for yourself. Say, hey, this week I'm going to earn a fast start. When you do, number one, that's going to make you consistent, because that means you got to get 6 customers if that person's not working to help you. So you've got to get 6 customers. That keeps me consistent. That keeps me motivated. Then you get that fast start and you're like, yes, you celebrate it. And you say, oh my gosh, I did it. I am 1 step closer to getting to double, or I'm 1 step closer to going Ruby. I am going to go diamond. And this is a part of that stepping stone. Okay. So y'all can if y'all have questions now that I have started talking, feel free to ask those questions and we'll get to those if we have time. Another thing I want to say too is there's no difference in a mass recruiter or not being a mass recruiter. It's truly just a mindset. And that's what we were talking about on my team Zoom on Monday, is that really there is no difference except, okay, so I was talking to a girl on my team and she said, Morgan, I'm doing all the things. And I know sometimes people will tell you that and you're like, I don't think so. I don't think so, sis. But this girl actually is. She truly is doing all the things. She truly is. She's getting her host to post up, or she's dying trying. Okay. She's doing her posting. She's following up. She's showing up to everything. She's doing all the things. Anybody feel like on here, put a 2 in the chat. If you're like, I'm doing all the things and I'm not getting a whole lot from it. I'm not getting traction. I'm not enrolling yet. I'm not, it's not happening. Okay. Thank you for being honest on my 2s. Okay. So with this girl, I told her, I said, the only difference I think between me and you is because we're doing the same things. We really are. We're doing the same things, but I believe that mine's going to work. I believe that whenever I put a post up, that people are going to comment on it to post for me. I believe that whenever I message that I'm going to get a response back. I believe that whenever I post on TikTok that it's going to go viral. So it does. But you don't believe that. And I think that that's the only difference. I said, you stopped believing somewhere along the way. It stopped working for you for a second and you started to believe that that's just how it always be. And so then it is. Whatever you believe, so it becomes. So with her belief or lack thereof, she was struggling doing the things I was doing, but feel like she was trying to like run through mud. And she was like, I'm just not getting anywhere. And I told her, I said, Winning the War in Your Mind by Craig Groeschel. Write it down if that is you. If you put a 2 in the chat, Winning the War in Your Mind by Craig Groeschel. Okay, if anybody knows how to spell that and you can type it in there, that'd be great. But otherwise I could type it later whenever I'm not talking. So Winning the War in Your Mind by Craig Groeschel. It's a really good book. I listened to it on Audible. One of those books where I literally finished it and I was like, wait, it's already over? Oh no. Like it was so good. It was really, really good. But I told her, I said, I want you to listen to that Audible book and tell me when you start to listen to it and tell me what you think. And because she's one of those people that's so teachable, she said, okay, I'm going to do it. And within 2 hours, she texted me and she said, I put up a post. I believed that it was going to happen. I'm listening to that book and things are starting to move already. And so I want you to know that if you want to be a mass recruiter, believe that it can happen. And when you start sending messages, do it with belief that people are going to reply. And not only that people are going to reply, but that they're going to be interested when they do. Right? Because how many times have you sent out a message and you thought, well, I did it and I checked it off my list today, but watch it not get me anywhere. And maybe it was so subconscious that you were like, no, I've never done that. And you're like, oh, shoot. Yep, I actually did do that. So you may not even realize that you're doing it. And that's the thing. Whenever you have this, what Craig Groeschel says in that book is he says, when you believe a lie as if it were true, it starts to affect your life as if it were true. So whenever you believe a lie that as if it were true, I can't enroll, I can't go diamond, I'm not a good leader, then it's going to start to affect your life as if it were true. You don't go diamond, you don't enroll, you're not growing in your leadership because you're not trying, because why would you try something you believe you're going to fail at? So what I want you to do is I want you to shift your belief that I am consistent. I do show up for my business every day. My team is excited. And it may not be the team that you have right now, but you're bringing in new people. I'm a mass distributor enroller. I can bring in customers. I hit every fast start. I am promoting. I am helping people. I am changing lives. I am giving back in massive ways. Whatever your thing is, speak that over yourself and take the lie and replace it with the truth. He talks about that in that book too. But whatever that lie is in your head right now, everything that you do is building evidence for that case. So what you're doing is if you believe I can't enroll, every time that you send a message, you try to build a case for why that's true. See, they didn't respond. See, I only got 2 responses. Well, you only sent 10 messages. And also 8 people haven't even seen it yet. But you already built a case as to why 2 people responding was a bad thing. When I would have looked at that with my belief, and this isn't because I started this way, it's because I trained my mind to do this so you can get here too. If I saw 2 responses, I think, oh, that's two people. That's 2 potential people that are interested in these products. And if they're not interested, well, there's 7.5 billion people in the world, so somebody will be. But I don't look for the lack. I look for the abundance. And so change your mindset. Think about those things. Set your mind on things above. And that's what the Bible talks about. It says, think about the things that are, pure and admirable and commendable and praiseworthy. Think about those things. So even the Bible, if you're into that thing, like the Bible talks about like your mindset and training your mindset and focusing on the good, focusing on the positive, because life and death is in the power of the tongue. And what you think about, you speak about, and what you speak about, you bring about. And so watch the way you speak to yourself, because there's life and death in the power of what you speak over your life. And if you can say, like, I am consistent, I am going to do this. And if you start speaking those things and say, I am going to be I'm diamond. I am diamond. I'm going diamond this month. Aren't you going to want to be more consistent? Aren't you going to want to show up better? Because I know sometimes y'all are like, I want to be consistent, but I'm just not. I don't know where the disconnect is. It's because you don't believe that it's going to pay off. You don't believe that it actually matters, because you already told yourself that you can't do all of those things. You already said that you couldn't. So why would you show up? So the next thing I wanted to say is getting your host to post up. It is not optional. Not optional. If you're going to promote, you've got to give it 110%. You can do this, but you have to do it. It works for you if you work for it. I talked to a girl the other day and I said, this is one of my leaders, And I was like, are you getting your host to post up? She said, well, I stopped because it wasn't working for me. I said, well, why didn't you just change what you were doing and kept going? Like, why would you stop because it wasn't working? Because is it working now that you stopped? She said, no. I said, okay, so I want you to do it again, but I want you to do it a little different. If what you were doing before wasn't working, let's change something small up. Change up what post you're putting up. 4 LCs today already, 3 LCs yesterday. So 7 in the last 2 days. And all she did was change her belief. And now, because she sparked that one customer, it grew her belief that, oh my gosh, I can get another one. And that's what I talked about with my story, where I said, I didn't go from $200 a month to ambassador belief. I went from $200 to maybe I can go ruby. Ruby, ooh, maybe I can go diamond. Okay, I'm diamond. Maybe I could go double. Double, maybe I could go triple. Triple, I bet I could go presidential. Presidential, what? Now I gotta go ambassador. You know, you grow that belief. You don't start there. So even with the one customer, if you're like, I don't even know, like mass enrolling scares me. Be consistent enough to just do your steps to success. And I don't mean just as if that's not good. I'm saying start there. But again, somebody that enrolls their steps to success and somebody who's a mass enroller, there's no difference. Sherry Lynn Alcala used to say, I'm just a steps to success girl. And somebody called her out and said, why don't you stop speaking that over yourself and become a mass enroller if that's what you want to do? And she was like, okay. And she signed 30 something LCs that month. It's all in your mindset. So start wherever you like, 6 customers, 3 distributors, start with that and be consistent. But get those host to post up, distributor host to post, customer host to post, whatever it takes. And a lot of people will ask, well, how many do I need to get up every day? I would say a minimum of 10, but honey, whatever it takes. What do you want? And at this point, you have to ask yourself, instead of saying, what do I need? How many should I do to get where I want? Basically, what you're saying is, what's the least amount of work that I can do to be successful and get where I want to be? What I want you to change your mindset to is, what am I not willing to do to get where I want to be? What am I not willing to do to get to Ruby and to change my life and to come home with my kids? And you have to think about your why as something stronger than just money. I'm looking at Emily right now just because she has her baby with her. So she would never, okay, let's say her goal is $2,000 a month. Well, that sounds cool. But on a hard day, could she be like, well, $2,000, like, I don't even care if I was living in a box. As long as I have my family, I'm fine. Right? But when she knows that $2,000 a month would bring her home to her baby, and that's just an example. I'm not saying you have to do that. You're a good mom if you work too. Just an example. Let's say she wanted to come home with her baby and $2,000 a month would do that. Do you think she'd give up on that? No. But she might give up on the $2,000, but not when she knows what that $2,000 will do, because she's never going to give up on her kids. So the last thing I wanted to talk about was, it's okay if you don't have everything figured out. Okay. I saw somebody ask, like, what's a fast start? Your enroller can help you with that. Just text them and ask them what a fast start is. They'll explain all of that to you. But I love that question because it means that there's someone on here who's new or that just doesn't know those things yet. And I want to encourage you, it's okay. Because guess what? None of us knew those things until we learned them from somebody asking those. We asked the question and we were like, what's a fast start? And somebody told us, we're like, oh, got it. Okay, now we know what a fast start is. And I want you to ask those questions. I want you to reach out to the person that got started with you and say, I don't know what I'm doing. Teach me everything that I need to know. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get where I want to be. And when you have that mentality, they're going to want to help you. They're going to get excited about you asking questions. They're going to love to help you and encourage you, but don't feel like you have to know everything to get started. Okay. Think about it like a rowboat. Okay. Whenever you start this business, it's like, or not a rowboat, that's like an old, whatever, canoe. Let's say it's a canoe. Okay. And you have an oar. And if you've ever canoed before, you know what I'm talking about. If you want that canoe to go straight, where are you going to row? Both sides, right? Okay. But whenever you join this business and you're so focused on, I've got to learn this and I've got to get this together and I have to know how to do host to post all the way before I can get it, before I can start, or I have to try every product before I can recommend any of them to anybody that I've ever talked to in my life, you're rolling on one side of the boat. You're going to learn and you're going to research and you're going to do all these things. You're putting in all this effort and you feel so exhausted and you're going in circles. But what if you could learn a little bit, do a little bit, research some more, then go apply it. Try some products, tell everybody about them, try some more, talk about other people's results until you get your own. What if you can do it on both sides? Because now you're expending the same amount of energy and you're actually moving forward. if you're new, think about that. This business is a canoe and you want to move forward, learn and do at the same time, because that's going to be the best way that you learn. Ask a mom. Did you learn more from a pregnancy book and a mom manual, or did you learn more by being a mom and learning from experience, right? You learn more from experience. So if you really want to be successful with this business, it's just going to be throwing yourself in there and learning as you go. Okay. So that's all I really had. I did see a question from Jamie in here. Let me go find it. Hang on. And then I can answer that and then we can see what we want to do. Where did it go? It was something about a 6 list. I know where it was. Oh, I found it. Okay. She said we all have a KPI or 6 list, whichever one that you use. If you're not sure what that is, it's just the things we do every day to grow our business. Your enroller will teach you all of those things in your training if you're not there yet. But she said, what do you start with? Where do the majority of your leads come from? Instagram, Reels, and stories. Like, and I know I'm preaching host to post because I'm host to posting my face off. Why? Because I will not, there's nothing I won't do to go ambassador. Okay. But I'm not getting as much from host to post as those things. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm getting my 10 host to post up every single day. But because I've built such a following on Instagram and it's taken time, but a lot of it's come recently from Reels and doing TikToks and putting them on Reels and being consistent with those, I'm getting more followers. So I'm utilizing my Instagram story to talk about the products, to show my face, to talk about the business, to talk about the opportunity. And people are going to my Reels and they're reaching out to me about the business. And then they're also reaching out to me about the products because I do stuff on my story after they start following me. Now they're watching my story and I post about the cleanse and then I do a poll, or I post about the gummies and then I tell them to swipe up and type gummies. And so I'm getting people from that. But honestly, if I could say anything in the 6 list is the most important, it's the follow-ups. And you can't miss any of them because they all work together. So all 6 are important, but you have to follow up because I'm not signing these people on the spot. I'm not having a conversation with someone and then putting them in the system. It's a follow-up. It's a process. And if you don't learn to love the process and you're so focused on the results, you're going to consistently be disappointed. You've got to focus on the process. And that's what I was talking about before when I meant if you're going double, you've got to focus on the little things that are happening along the way. Same with getting customers and distributors. You have to focus on the process because you're not going to sign them right away. But if you can focus on, oh my gosh, I had so many good conversations today. I showed up. I did my 6 list. I got my host to post up. I won the day because I showed up. Because I can't control if other people give me their card info to sign up as a customer, or if they go sign up as a distributor on my website, but I can control me. I can control if I sign up, if I do my follow-ups. And if I did, I won. I won that day because I showed up and I'm focused on the process, not the results, because I know if I focus on the process, I become a better person and I get the results. It's a byproduct. It's not the goal. The goal is growing you and getting the promotion and the paycheck raise and all the things. It's all extra. It's all a byproduct. If you focus on growing you, that's why you got on here, to grow yourself, to become more consistent. And when you start doing that, when you start growing yourself in all these areas, you're going to be automatically ruby, diamond, double, because it's going to happen. It's going to flow. It's going to be a byproduct of the work that you've done here. And then it's going to show up in eSuite. But anyway, so that was really random and off topic at the end. But yeah, so TikToks and Reels and Instagram stories. Also, one little tip that I have for you, if you do have an influencer application, if that's going over your head and you're like, what's an influencer application? I don't even know where my eSuite is. Don't worry about this yet. If you have an influencer application, go to the influencer application and edit it. And at the very end, add a question that just says, when you finish this application, DM me, I applied on Instagram. I don't have to go through any applications anymore. They all DM me, I applied, I applied, I applied, I applied, I applied. So much easier. So much easier because now I don't have to waste my time to go through, oh, they're not 18, oh, blah, 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 like, you know, all those things and look through all their stuff and read everything. They DM me, I applied. To be honest, I don't look at their application. I just say, oh my gosh, I saw your application. Okay, perfect. Anyways, I know they did it. They wouldn't have said that if they didn't, because they have to go all the way to the very end to see it. Okay. That's my last little Boom nugget.
Morgan, oh my gosh. Can we light this chat up even more? Because that was incredible. I literally have no words. I have so many ahas, and I was just fast and furious in my team chat. Just everything that you were saying was so freaking good. And there is not a doubt in my mind that you are going ambassador. And I love that everything from whether you are brand new to whether you are pushing for presidential or ambassador or whatever, it is all the same. And consistency every single day, just showing up every single day. I know that every person on here took a nugget away that is going to change their business for the better. And I appreciate you so much for hopping on with us. Did anybody else have any other questions? This chat is going nuts. Oh my gosh.
And thank y'all so much for having me on here. This was so much fun, and seeing all of your faces. Y'all, so many of y'all have your cameras on. So shout out to y'all for having your cameras on. I know Kim was like yelling at you before this, probably like, you better turn cameras on. But y'all did, and I'm so glad that you did, because it's so much more fun this way. So thank y'all. This was a blast, and I do hope that something stuck out to you. I know this was kind of all over the place, but that's usually how these go whenever they're just like, say whatever's on your heart. There's a lot on my heart, and basically the biggest thing is I want you to know you can do this. Like, you can do this. If I can do this, you can do this. I'm looking at all of your faces, and I just see so much potential in every single one of you. And it doesn't matter how long you've been here. If you've been here for a long time and you're not where you want to be, if you've been in here for a short time and you have really big goals and you're like, I don't know if I can accomplish that, you can, and it's not too late. This is your time, and you're on here for a reason. You didn't get on the Zoom by accident or by chance. This is divine appointment, and you're here for a reason. And you can do this. You can accomplish anything that you put your mind to. And God is going to bless you abundantly and more than you could ever ask or imagine. And I'm just speaking that over you, because some of you need to hear that people believe in you, because you don't hear that from anybody else. So I want you to know that we believe in you. Kim believes in you, and Jamie believes in you. If they didn't, they wouldn't host these type things. But yeah, somebody asked if I could pray. Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely. Please do.
Okay, let's do it. God, we love you, and we thank you so much just for this time that we had to spend together. I thank you for just who you are, and I thank you for this gift that you've given us in this business. And I know that this is a vehicle that you have given us to answer the prayers that we were praying before, and maybe we didn't even know that we needed this opportunity. Maybe we didn't even know, but there were some people that before they joined this, they were so hopeless, and they were asking and begging and hoping for a way to be able to get out of the situation that they were in. And you plopped this business into their lap through Facebook, Instagram, a friend, or a DM. And we know that it was not by accident. We know that you have brought us here for a reason. So don't let the enemy get into the minds of these people to make them think that you've changed your mind and that somehow this is no longer for them. But you have called them here for a reason, and you have huge plans for them, plans to prosper them and not to harm them, plans to give them a hope and a future. And I just thank you in advance for all the work that you're doing in their hearts and in their lives and in their minds. And I pray that as they continue to grow themselves, that would transfer into their business, and that they would seek you first and seek your kingdom first, and know that the rest of these things will be added unto them, that they're going to get the promotion, they're going to get the rank. But whenever they get their priorities right, and they put you first, they put their family first, and then they put this business last, then they're going to know that the blessings are going to flow from that. And God, I just thank you for blessing the work that we put our hands to. I thank you that we are the head and not the tail. I thank you that we are blessed coming in and blessed going out. And I just speak life over every single one of these people. And as they leave this Zoom, where they've heard encouragement, hopefully, and just all this excitement, and they get back into the real world at their house, whatever that environment may look like, I just pray that you would protect them, and that you would put just this peace in their spirit about their promotions and about where they're headed and about their life and whatever they're facing right now. I just speak over that. I feel like there's heaviness on the Zoom right now, and I just speak over that you would remove the enemy from whatever situation there is right now. And I just ask that you would pour your spirit of peace and comfort and love and light into whoever I feel like we're talking about here. And God, we just thank you in advance for all the promotions that are going to happen. We thank you for who you are. We thank you that you are with us and that you don't ever leave us or forsake us. And it's in your name that we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much again. We will get the recording to you so that you can share it with your team because this was freaking fire. You are more than welcome to stay on with us. We're going to do a power hour and put in the work and show up for our business today. So if you want to continue listening to Dropkick Murphy with us and do a quick power session, feel free to stay on. But I'm going to stop the recording and we are going to go straight into power hour, you guys. Thank you again, Morgan.
Thank